The Hawks in Limpopo have conducted raids on unregistered loan businesses that are allegedly targeting Sassa beneficiaries. Police confiscated hundreds of Sassa cards, identity documents and child support grant agreement files, among other important documents. Sassa spokesperson Paseka Letsatsi is standing by with a few tips. Letsatsi, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. How far and wide is this problem that you're seeing where people are defaulting on their arrangements and they give out their Sassa cards?
Good afternoon, Juliet. Thanks for having me. I think we just want to make it very clear that the problem seems to be moving from one place to another. If we arrest people in the Western Cape, it keeps quiet and then it mushrooms in another province. But what we want to appeal to our people is that please live within what is given to you by government. Do not necessarily give that card which is given to you by the South African Social Security Agency. Do not give it to anyone because it belongs to you. And the reason why government is giving you that card is to make sure that you access the funds.
How does it work? So one would assume that if I need a loan, I'll use the card as surety. And if I'm not able to then service that debt, then the person who's given me the money then holds the card?
No, definitely. And it's very painful in a sense that the interest rates are very high. You can be charged anything between 50 to 70%. So the problem is that once you are in, you can't go out. Let me just make an example. You get 2,000 rand, you go and get a loan of 1,000 rand, right? At the end of the next month, they take their 1,000 rand, they take an interest. You must then go back and get another 1,000 rand so that you augment your money. So it means once you are in, you can't go out. These people are operating illegally. Hence, we need to make sure that we embark on a financial literacy so that people can know that as much as they qualify to get loans, but they cannot go and get loans from these loan sharks. Because in any case, you are indebted to them forever. You will definitely not be able to get your money. And secondly, Dudu, whatever information which you give to the third person at the South African Social Security Agency, we do not necessarily have control over it. Remember, these people, they've got access to your ID, they've got access to your PIN, and they can do whatever which they want to do with your information.
Yeah, this issue of loan sharks is a tricky one, right? Because you find that somebody will go to a loan shark because they are not creditworthy, so they cannot approach a registered institution. And what to do, because some loan sharks would argue that, well, this is a legitimate service. It's a victimless crime because we're offering a service that somebody wants.
There are regulations, unfortunately, and the national credit regulator, you need to make sure that you operate within that particular framework. And if these guys, they say, we are just doing business, there's nobody who's got problems with that, but there are regulations which they need to make sure that they comply. And we can safely say in this instance, these guys who had Sassa cards, which are not supposed to be in their possession, they had IDs, they've got some files which belong to Sassa. Obviously, they transgressed the rules. And if you do that, obviously, the National Credit Regulator will come for you because you have violated the Act. And obviously, the South African Social Security Agency will be left with an option as well to come after you because that card, and I think I need to emphasize this, it is given to you as a beneficiary to use it so that you can then be able to access the funds which are given to you by government. You do not necessarily have to give it to the third party. If you do so, obviously, you are able to go and get money. You are within the law, you are empowered to appoint a procurator who then will be able to get money on your behalf. However, we just want to emphasize that it is illegal for anybody to be found to be in possession of cards or material which belongs to the South African Social Security Agency.
Sure. With a new month approaching, are there any new scams that are on your radar?
Dudu, I'm chasing shadows. Every time I'm trying to explain this, but we know that every time people come with tricks to take money from the most vulnerable people in our society, all that we can simply do is to make sure that we advise our people that if there's an information that comes from Sassa, it will be communicated properly, and Sassa does not offer any form of financial assistance. We don't offer loans in this instance, but the intention here is to make sure that we give grants to those who deserve. And people must always make sure that they keep their PIN safe. They do not necessarily give it to anybody who can then do whatever which they want to do with their information.
Paseka Letsatsi speaks for the South African Social Security Agency. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon.